Welcome to the Disability Granted channel. You suffer a severe disabling condition, you've got no job, little income if any, you've got inadequate health care, you've got bills, more bills, and maybe less friends. You need to apply for Social Security disability. You need both financial and medical benefits. But experts publish these discouraging numbers. You see them on the internet, you see them on websites. You may even hear people repeat these numbers. The experts, the authorities, will tell you that only 30% of Social Security applications are approved. Only 30%. That's rather discouraging. Is it true? No. No, it's not true. You can only get the figure that low if you include technical denials, which have nothing to do with disabling conditions. In Social Security studies for disability medical determinations, technical denials are particularly excluded. Social Security doesn't use them in making any such determination. Social Security excludes them because technical denials generally lack evaluation of any medical evidence. So, what are technical denials? Well, they're not disability determinations. Disability determinations are made by the Disability Determination Services. That's where the disability examiners are. Social Security tells us the field office is responsible for verifying if the application meets required technical requirements. If it does, if the application meets those requirements, it sends the application to DDS for evaluation of disability. And DDS is responsible for developing medical evidence and making the initial determination on whether or not a claimant is disabled or blind under law. So why do some authorities measure your chance of being granted Social Security disability by including every case which was technically disapproved without a disability determination? Something's not right. Social Security actually shows us how many applications for disability were medically approved. It's closer to 45%. So what are the common technical denials used to dilute your success rate to 30%? Let's look at common technical denials which have been published by the administration. Talking about SSDI only. Your Social Security disability application for SSDI may be technically denied if you're engaged in what they call substantial gainful activity. Disability thresholds in 2023 include substantial gainful activity of $1,470 for disabled applicants and $2,460 for blind. Number 2, in SSDI cases, your application will be technically denied if you lack sufficient work credits. In SSDI, you have to have work credits. SSDI is an entitlement program, and you're entitled if you have contributed to the fund for SSDI payments, and that would be through payroll deductions from your work. SSDI is funded by payroll deductions. If you're 31 years of age or older, you must have at least 20 work credits in the 10-year period immediately preceding your onset of disability, the date on which you became disabled. There are different requirements for younger age groups. If you do not have sufficient credits from your work history, you may possibly qualify. This is important. If you don't have sufficient work credits from your own work history, you may possibly qualify by using the work credits of another, as allowed by Social Security, as allowed by law. There are certain situations and instances in which you can access the work credits of another. That may be a parent, maybe a step-parent, maybe an adoptive parent, maybe a grandparent. It could be a spouse or an ex-spouse that hates you, and you don't need that person's permission. And if you're allowed to use their Social Security number, it will not affect their benefits in any way. If you can't access another person's work credits, if you can't use another person's work credits and you don't have enough, you may not qualify for SSDI, but you may qualify for SSI disability. Number 3, in SSDI cases, your application will be technically denied when you allege an onset date that is after the date you were last insured. It's an entitlement program. It's Social Security disability insurance. So we're talking about insurance, which is an entitlement program. You must have sufficient work credits to be granted SSDI. And those work credits, if you have the right amount, if you have sufficient work credits, you're covered by SSDI. And as we mentioned before, you have to have at least 20 work credits in the previous 10 years if you're age 31 or older. And at younger ages, there are different requirements, but there are work credit requirements. If you allege an onset date when you don't have sufficient work credits to be insured, you're going to be denied technically, because there's no way Social Security could grant you SSDI if you allege that you weren't insured at the time your disability began. If there's any question as to your onset date, give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Don't self-deny your claim. Social Security may not deny it. They may look at it differently than you do. They may think that, in their opinion, that you qualify. And that doesn't apply to SSI claims because they have no requirement for work credits. SSI is not an entitlement program. It's not insurance. It's welfare. Number 4. This is the last technical denial specifically for SSDI. Number 4, your application for SSDI may be technically denied after the death of a number holder whose work credits you're using. If you don't have enough work credits, you may need the work credits of another. If that's authorized by Social Security, if that's allowed by Social Security, then you can proceed so long as that number holder, the holder of the Social Security number you're using, is alive. But if that number holder perishes, then your application is going to be denied unless you have sufficient work credits. You may have sufficient work credits and still use the work credits of another to increase your benefit. If you don't have sufficient work credits on your own, you may have to seek another number holder to qualify for SSDI. If you think this video would help other disabled people, please share, like, and subscribe so that they can see it. Thank you for watching the Disability Granted channel, and good luck.